It is a gorgeous day outside. Spring is finally in the air. At least that's what it seems like here in central Ontario. And coming out of the weekend, we have some news items to talk about. We have a signing, we have an arena update, and we're also talk a bit about the playoffs. And that's where we're actually going to start because the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds, they have forced a game 7 in their series against the Saginaw Spirit. For some, this is not a surprise because these two West Division rivals, they've been going toe to toe all season, and it all comes down to a game tomorrow night at the Dow Event Center in Saginaw. The Spirit and the Greyhounds, this has been a back and forth series, and last night, Charlie Schenkel posted a 24-save shutout, his second of the series, and this is the first time this has happened since Ray Emery recorded 2 shutouts for the Soo Greyhounds back in 2000, I believe, against the Erie Otters. So quite the series here from Charlie Schenkel, trying to will the Greyhounds' way into the Western Conference Final. And of course, Game 7, as I mentioned, it's going to be at the Dow Event Center. Puck drop is at 7:05. And this series has really seen it all. And for the Greyhounds, Jack Beck, he came back from injury. He returned in Game 5. And with his return, he has made his presence known. In just 2 games in this series, 2 goals, 2 assists in those 2 games. As really this Greyhound team, a lot of momentum heading into Game 7, although the Saginaw Spirit, they will have their captain, Braden Hache, back in the lineup after serving that 2-game suspension for a slew foot. So that's going to be huge on the back end because Hache, a very imposing presence on the blue line for the Saginaw Spirit team. So they're going to get some help there. Although a suspension is likely for James Go, he was handed a 5-minute major for slashing in Game 6. He swung his stick and hit the back of the head of Travis Hayes. So you have to be, in control of your stick and, more importantly, your emotions, especially in the playoffs. So we haven't heard yet officially how long a suspension will be for James Guo. It sounds like the speculation is could be around 5 games, although nothing has been said. We'll have to wait and see. And they're getting Hache back, but looks like they're going to be missing the services of Go. So this series has had a lot of emotions. There's been a lot of physicality in this series between the Greyhounds and the Spirit. Really no surprise. And with this Saginaw Spirit team, yeah, they're the host of the Memorial Cup. And sure, they're going to be playing for the national championship. But this is a team that has said since the start of the season they want to go in through the front door. They don't want to just be the OHL host city for the Memorial Cup. And they're going to put it all on the line tomorrow night. And one team that's excited about this series going 7, you have to figure, are the London Knights. Of course, they swept the Kitchener Rangers, and right now, waiting to find out who their opponent will be in the Western Conference Final, which will get underway later this week. And once we know who is going to meet the London Knights in the Western Conference Final, I'll do a playoff preview video just to get us all primed and ready for that series between the Knights and whoever it is that they may be facing. The Knights, they do have home ice advantage, so we know that series will begin at Budweiser Gardens. And I'll also be doing a playoff preview for the Eastern Conference Final. We've already known the opponent now for nearly a week, as the Oshawa Generals will host the North Bay Battalion. That series getting underway on Friday at the Tribute Community Center. Some other news items to touch on. The Seattle Kraken, they have signed Carson Rehkopf to his NHL Entry Level Contract. And for the Kitchener Rangers, they got off to an amazing start. And a big reason was their offense and the play of Rehkopf. He put up 52 goals this season, which is second best in the OHL at the end of the regular season. And he's been rewarded by signing that entry-level contract. So Rehkopf, he was selected in the 2nd round by the Kraken, 50th overall back in the 2023 NHL Entry Draft. And with the signing, he's going to join the Coachella Valley Firebirds in the American Hockey League so he can play out the rest of their playoff run. Also, David Goyette of the Sudbury Wolves has been reassigned to Coachella Valley. And that Firebirds team, they went to the AHL Championship last year against the Hershey Bears. And some of these young talent will get some good experience because the Firebirds, they've got a deep roster. And who knows, this team could go on to another deep run in the American Hockey League playoffs. But for next season, there's going to be a lot of question marks with Carson Rehkopf. He can only go to the NHL or the junior ranks next season. So it's Seattle or Kitchener for Carson Rehkopf next season. And with the Kitchener Rangers, they're in an interesting spot because they want to host the Memorial Cup in 2027. I know nothing's been made official yet, but just the word around the team and around the Ontario Hockey League is this team is looking to host the Memorial Cup So with that in mind, do you keep Carson Rehkopf if he comes back from Seattle, or do you trade him? Because there's going to be a lot of teams interested in his services, and you know you're going to get some really good assets in return for Carson Rehkopf. And those assets, of course, could be beneficial in their push for the 2027 Memorial Cup. So time will tell, but still some interesting times with Carson Rehkopf, but still big congratulations to him for signing that NHL Entry Level Contract. Also, it was announced on Friday that Jake O'Brien has been named Rookie of the Year. The Brantford Bulldogs forward getting the title there. He wins the M's Family Award. And it was announced only a couple hours after I posted the video Friday about the Brantford Bulldogs season. I did a review on how the season went and where this team is going. And in that video, I mentioned that O'Brien should be a candidate for Rookie of the Year. And I guess if I would have waited a couple hours, I could have said he was, in fact, the Rookie of the Year. So I wanted to announce that now, and big congratulations to him, because O'Brien, he led all rookies with 51 assists and 64 points in 61 games, setting new franchise records in the process, passing players like Matthew Strom and Arthur Kaliev. So O'Brien, a great year for him after being selected 8th overall in the 2023 OHL priority selection, and he is shaping up to be a solid player going forward. So a lot of potential with this Brantford Bulldogs team, and I mentioned that in the video, just how this team, I think, can be competitive again in that East Division. So I want to take a look at that as dive a little more, I guess, here into Brantford. Runner-up, though, for the Rookie of the Year, no real surprise, Owen Sound attack goaltender Carter George. He was the runner-up, and really, he helped Owen Sound stay competitive during the regular season, and maybe he was played a little too much down the stretch, but still, Carter George, an outstanding goaltender there with the attack, and it's going to be exciting to see what he can do as a follow-up with Owen Sound. And lastly, I wanted to talk about the Sudbury Wolves Arena. Last Tuesday, the Sudbury City Council, they voted unanimously in favor of Option 1, which is to build a brand new 5,800-seat facility for $200 million. I posted the video after talking about the news and what this means for the city of Sudbury and ultimately the Sudbury Wolves in the Ontario Hockey League. But since then, owner Dario Zolic, he wrote an open letter about the excitement of the new rink, and he says that he's actually reached out to the Ontario Hockey League about potentially hosting the Memorial Cup one day and also the World Juniors. So you just get the sense of excitement that the Wolves owner has in regards to the news that Sudbury City Council is looking to move forward with this project. He also says this is going to be a great beacon for downtown Sudbury, as there's been a lot of emphasis on trying to rejuvenate the downtown core. They've already purchased all the land next door to the Sudbury Arena. It's just the Wacky Wing restaurant that is the last business standing, although that's supposed to be resolved soon, probably by the fall. And then they want to have shovels in the ground by 2026 and then open the arena by 2028. But despite all the excitement and just the good news coming from City Council, there might be not everyone's happy in Sudbury about this new arena project. A petition has actually been launched. It was announced the day after the City Council approved the project. They feel that this money could be better used on local infrastructure like roads and other projects downtown Sudbury, and feel that the Sudbury Arena is good enough the way it is. That is what the petition is saying. And one member of City Council actually would like to see this arena situation become a referendum question. We're still 2 years away from a municipal election, if my memory serves me right. So then if you do go to a referendum, or if this petition gets in the way, this could kick the can down the road as to when the new Sudbury Arena could open. I still believe this arena will move forward. It's long overdue for the Sudbury Community Arena. It's the oldest facility being used in the OHL at the moment, and it just needs that upkeep at least. But they say that'll cost $180 million. So I believe right now the arena will move forward, the brand new facility, but just keep in mind that we've been down this road before with projects in Sudbury where they have a big announcement and not everyone is on board, and then it gets a little muddy and we see where we go from here. So that's the situation with the Sudbury Arena. Maybe I'll have to get Dario Zolic on to talk about the project here on the channel, as he's so excited, which is great to see. You know, this team means so much to Greater Sudbury. I know they had that disappointing finish in the second round of the playoffs, but still, it'll be nice to see that arena move forward, and hopefully these little hurdles or bumps in the road can be ironed out, and everyone can be happy in the end. That's all I would like to see. I'm an eternal optimist, so I just love to see everything work out. And if it can work out with Sudbury with this arena project, that would be great as well. So that's how I see it from the booth. Thank you very much for tuning in. Let me know your comments down below, your thoughts on any of these news items going forward. And don't forget to hit like and subscribe. We'll talk to you again soon.